Hello, everyone. So let's get this started. Welcome today to our virtual health lesson on eating healthy for a healthy heart. My name is Alan Hernandez, and I'm a corporate and community impact director here at the American Heart Association in Los Angeles. I'm excited to be hosting the live virtual health lesson, and I would like to introduce Karen Reese. She's our RN educator for home health with St. Joseph's Providence. We'll be triaging questions from today's discussion. Karen has been with St. Joseph believe it, for 28 years, and her passion is about giving people the knowledge, tools, and resources they need to be able to navigate health challenges and to be healthy on a day-to-day basis. So Karen, you want to come in and introduce yourself really quick to the
hello everybody, and it's great to have everybody at this meeting today, and I think you will be excited about some options for healthy heart eating today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And I'd also like to thank Providence for supporting our work to improve blood pressure control and overall health in Southern California. As you all may be aware, heart diseases and high blood pressure, stroke, and obesity are serious diseases that can seriously impact our lives, right? And these diseases affect people in multicultural communities at higher rates. We'll start with a couple housekeeping notes. Because we are in a virtual Zoom meeting, we'll be doing the chat feature as well as the Zoom poll function to interact with one another. So please feel free to type in your questions and comments into the chat. Karen, Matthew, and Alyssa are all helping us out here. So please feel free to raise your hand or put the question in the chat, and we'll get to you as soon as possible. And before we begin, if you haven't done so already, please put in where you're from. And I see a lot of different cities, so welcome everyone. Today's presentation is for educational purposes only. We do not offer any medical advice. We can provide resources, but specific questions on diagnosis, medication, and treatment should be directed to your doctor. If there's any questions asked in the chat that are specific of medical nature, we'll have a qualified medical professional follow up with your answer then. You can also visit heart.org for tools, resources, and information about how to stay healthy during this time. And if you like questions, like I said, in the chat, and if you want to turn off live captions, click on the CC live transcript button and then select hide subtitles. So let's get started with the pulse check. All right, so we're going to do a quick 2-poll question now and another poll near the end of the class. All right, so here's the first question to the poll question. LDL cholesterol is good for you. It helps lower the risk of heart disease and stroke. Is this A, true, or B, false? And we'll give you guys about 30 seconds to answer. All right, so let's share the results to the first question. So about 25% of you said that it was true, and 75% of you said it was false. Okay, second question. During the past 7 days, how many days did you drink a sugar sweetened drink? Okay, we're going to count soda, pop, Gatorade, Powerade, Kool-Aid. Don't count the diet drinks or low calorie sport drinks such as Propel. So during the past 7 days, so would you say you had 0 to 1, A, 2 to 3 days, B, 4 to 5 days, C, or D, 6 to 7 days of sugary drinks? All righty. And we will share the poll. So the first answer is false, right? So the first answer to the poll question is false. So LDL is not right. It's not the good cholesterol. And we can go to the next poll question. The next slide, please. Okay. So just so you know, most of us don't eat enough fruits and vegetables to meet our body's needs, and that's only about 75% of the US population has an eating pattern that is low in fruits and veggies. Only 1 in 10 adults meets the recommendation for fruit and vegetable consumption. And men and younger adults tend to eat fewer fruits and vegetables. Next slide. So let's start with some of the basic nutritional recommendations. And over the next few slides, we'll outline the general healthy eating guidelines from the American Heart Association. So you try to consume, you should at least try to consume roughly about 4 to 5 cups of fruits and veggies each day. Fruits and vegetables contain a variety of essential vitamins and minerals, plus they are low in calories, fat and sodium, and high in fiber. Fiber is one of the most important elements of a healthy diet, and yet only about 5% of Americans are achieving the adequate intake of the recommended fiber. Choosing healthy options is one of the best and easiest and smartest ways for people to take control of their heart and brain health. And remember that that even making small healthy choices today can bring long-term benefits. Health benefits. Adding more fruits and vegetables to a healthy diet is a powerful step forward to a healthier, longer life. Fruits and vegetables are naturally low in saturated fat and calories. They contain vitamins A, C, and K, as well as folate, magnesium, and potassium. They are a great source of dietary fiber, which has been found to reduce the risk of colon cancer. Karin, is there anything you want to add or to the some of these slides?
Not yet.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to share, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share, I mean, people get confused about low density and high density lipid cholesterol. So if you think of low as like morphable and stick to your veins and arteries, that would be the bad one. So the high density cholesterol is the one that we want. That's the good cholesterol. And that does make a difference in what we eat, in what gets stuck to our veins. So I just wanted to bring that up about the cholesterol there.
Thank you. And June, which slide did you want to go back to, June? Is that it? Okay, I don't think. Yes, thanks. And do you have any question on this particular slide? Okay, good. All right. So thank you, Karin. And we are now on slide number 7, Alyssa. All right. So now we want to take a look to see what a single serving of fruit looks like, right? And the following are examples of a single serving of fruit. A medium apple, right? A half an avocado, a small banana, and 4 large strawberries. And in this presentation, we'll be providing with some tips for easy ways to increase your fruits and vegetables. Now, does 2 to 2.5 cups of vegetables each day seem a lot to you? If you can just put that in the chat. So 2 to 2.5 cups a day. Does that personally sound like a lot of fruits and vegetables for you? We'd like to hear what your thoughts are. All right, normal. Good. All right. Can we go to the next slide, please? And as you can see, these are more examples. The following examples of a single serving of vegetable. So it's 5-day broccoli florets, which to me it's a lot, right? A half a large of sweet potato, a cup of raw spinach, and 6 baby carrots. So that's just so you can get a good visual of what a full serving size of vegetable is. Next slide. In components of a healthy diet, oily fish is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which have been shown to reduce inflammation, and potentially lower the risk of heart disease, cancer, and arthritis as well. You should try to consume at least 3 or about 3.5 ounces of servings of oily fish each week. Some of the good options are salmon, tuna, trout, mackerel, and sardines. Remember that fried fish is not recommended. If fresh fish options are limited, consider for frozen varieties too at your local supermarket. So you can also do the frozen fish as well. Whole grains are also a component of a healthy diet. They're naturally high in fiber, and they help you feel full and satisfied as well. Whole grains are also linked to lower the risk of heart disease, diabetes, certain cancers, and other health problems. When trying to incorporate whole grains into your diet, ask yourself whether you can substitute a refined grain for a whole grain. And for example, you can use whole wheat bread or pasta instead of white. Other examples of whole grains include whole wheat bread, pasta, brown rice, quinoa, farro, corn, and many others. If you're gluten-free, if you're gluten intolerant or avoiding gluten for any reason, you can also use a variety of whole grains that don't contain wheat gluten, such as quinoa, oats, or oatmeal, buckwheat, amaranth, corn, or brown rice are good sources.
And I did want to mention here, when we're talking about whole grains, I did want to mention that, oats, the old famous decision to do oatmeal every morning, that the oats in the oatmeal actually binds with the fats that are bad and helps it not stick to your arteries and veins. So that whole thing about, starting your day off with a bowl of oatmeal is actually not a bad idea. And avena, of course, has oats in it, so that could help. And then just to mention, muesli is a breakfast that the Swiss and Austrians have been known to have. And those folks live forever. And they've said it's because they eat muesli every morning. And that's oats with a few nuts and an apple. And so those oats can go a long way, and it is gluten-free.
Oh, that's good to know. Me personally, I love oats. That's what my kids have for breakfast. We love oatmeal, so it's something that's a part of our morning routine. So thank you for sharing that. Any questions in the chat at the moment? We are good. All right. So some of the components of a healthy diet, and many of you may or may not know this, but most people eat too much sodium or salt. Okay, the average American eats about 3,400 milligrams of sodium a day. And then having less sodium in your diet may help you lower or avoid high blood pressure. The American Heart Association recommends an ideal limit of less than 1,500 milligrams for most adults, especially for those with high blood pressure. Next slide. Consuming too many sugar-sweetened beverages increases a person's risk of developing heart disease and high blood pressure, right? We all love those sugary drinks, but they are indeed bad for you. They can also harm your teeth, cause joint pain, and many lead to developing diabetes as well. The American Heart Association recommends consuming no more than 36 ounces of sugary beverages each week, right? So that's about 2 sodas around there. That's just about 3 cans of Coke, 3 cans of Coke. Sugar-sweetened drinks are anything with added sugar. They include, but are not limited to the soda, sugary coffee drinks, energy drinks, sweet tea, fruit cocktail drinks, Gatorade, and sugary alcoholic beverages. The best way to remove sugar drinks from your diet is to replace them with something else. And the best replacement is usually water. But if you're in the mood for something else, try black coffee, unsweetened tea, water flavored with fruits and vegetables, or diet drinks options. Any questions at the moment? Troy, do you have anything? Karin, anything to add?
Not right yet.
Okay, and the other recommendations are also nuts, legumes, and seeds are a good source of protein, healthy fats, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Legumes such as beans and lentils can be a healthy substitute for meat, which has more fat and cholesterol. A serving of legumes like beans or lentils is half a cup. A serving of nuts and seeds is 1 ounce, which is about a small handful. So just picture your hand, a small handful, that's usually about 1 ounce. If beans and lentils tend to cause you an upset stomach or make you gassy, try buying dry varieties and soaking them overnight before cooking. This gets rid of some of the harder things to digest, such as proteins, and also makes the nutrients more readily available. Next slide. Okay. Eating processed meats is associated with an increased risk of many chronic diseases, including high blood pressure, heart disease, and bowel and stomach cancer. Processed meat is also usually very high in sodium, so very salty, which we touched on earlier. If something people with high blood pressure should want and try to avoid, right? So all processed meats you should try to avoid as much as possible. The EHA recommends eating no more than 2 servings of processed meat each week. Cutting out processed meat altogether would even be better. 2010 Harvard study showed that on average, each 1.8 ounce of daily serving of processed meat, which is the equivalent of about 1 or 2 slices of deli meat or a hot dog, was associated with about 42% higher risk of developing heart disease and a 19% higher risk of developing diabetes. Okay, examples of processed meat include lunch meat, hot dogs, salami, sausage, canned meats, and jerky, to name a few. If you're searching for a healthier lunch meat option, consider some of the healthier eating tips. Eating too much saturated fat can raise the bad LDL cholesterol, which Karin was touching base on, and it can also increase a person's risk of heart disease and stroke. The AHA recommends limiting your intake to less than 7% of your daily calories. For someone eating a $2,000 calorie per day diet, this would mean consuming no more than 140 calories or about 16 grams of saturated fat per day. So that's something really that we got to look at and try to focus on trying to stay away from. To put this more into perspective, an average size of pepperoni contains 9 grams of saturated fat. And most of us are, I know sometimes I will even eat like 2 or 3. So just 2 pieces of pizza could potentially put a person over their daily recommended amount. Okay, and saturated fat comes mainly from animal sources of food, such as red meat, poultry, and full-fat dairy products. It can also be found in processed baked goods like donuts and packaged cookies. Switching to a plant-based eating style is probably the best way to reduce your intakes in fats. Any questions at this time?
So those of you that are used to a meat sandwich, are there some alternatives besides the luncheon meats that we could do in a sandwich that would give us the protein we need to keep going? Or are there some other lunches that we could create that has the protein in it without just defaulting to those processed meats? Anyone have any ideas? What have you guys been doing for healthy lunches?
I think for myself is the tuna. I think it's probably the biggest one, or low sodium organic ham if I'm going to do any of the deli meats.
Avocado and cucumber, that's cool. You get the crunch, and you've got the healthy fats in that. Put some bean sprouts in it. The bean sprouts have the protein.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Roast chicken. So you have your fresh chicken and then you make it into a sandwich the next day. Awesome. Yeah, those are some great ideas, you guys.
Great ideas. Thank you for that. And I know Ruby, you had a quick question. Oh, tofu, Maria, that's great. You're
Tofu's a wonderful option.
That's right.
Here's microgreens and alfalfa. See, alfalfa is also a protein source. These are great ideas.
Yeah, great ideas. Thank you for that. Next slide, Alyssa. So we're going to go over the DASH eating plan. And some of you might have heard of the DASH eating plan. And DASH stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. And it's emphasizing healthy food sources. The DASH eating plan also limits red meat, sodium, salt, sweet added sugars, and sugar-containing beverages. All the recommendations we covered so far fall within the DASH eating plan. However, sometimes it's nice to have a clear and concise diet to follow, right? If you're interested in this or would like to learn more about the DASH eating plan, just visit the link above or simply Google search the DASH eating plan. Something that's very, very simple. Next slide. And what are the benefits of a healthy of a healthy diet? Now that we've covered the basics of a healthy diet, let's talk about the benefits of consuming a healthy diet. Healthy diet can prevent heart disease and stroke, can improve focus and concentration, may lower blood sugar, can lower cholesterol, help you feel more energized, right? And they may also improve your mental health. Next slide. So think about a time in your life when you were eating a healthy diet. What benefits did you notice? I mean, me for myself, I think my mood, I think in a lot lighter mood. I saw myself with a lot more energy, a lot more focus, and just overall feeling healthier is when I follow a healthy diet. More energy, Maria says, clear, brighter skin. That's right. That is right. Anyone else? All right. Weight loss. Yes, definitely, Ruby. That is so true. We will notice that our weight will start coming down as well, and better sleep. Those are all great comments. Thank you.
Do any of you feel heavy the next morning after, minestrone soup and sodium loaded takeout? That whole thing, your body is holding on to that extra fluid, and then you just feel so much because the sodium we added, like overly added, it pulls in all this liquid, and we're walking around probably literally with fluid a couple pounds heavier, and so that whole heaviness thing comes in. So there is that sense of energy, lighter, brighter, that kind of thing. Anyone else notice that when you're like deciding to eat more veggies and such?
I agree.
Yeah.
Next slide, Alyssa. So now we'll go over just some easy additions to our everyday meal. For breakfast, we can add bananas, raisins, or berries to our cereal. Each chopped veggies with eggs and potatoes, which I love. I love eggs and veggies. And you might try. Go ahead.
In the Mediterranean diet in the morning, they have cucumbers and tomatoes along with hummus and pita bread and whatever else. So you don't have to
fresh, right?
You don't have to wait for veggies until lunch or dinner. You can actually have them for breakfast. How many of you make a carrot-based smoothie in the morning and throw some perejil, cilantro, and that sort of thing in there? So there's a lot of options. And the picture of breakfast, there's our muesli with our oats.
There it is.
Alan was talking about earlier.
There it is. And then for lunch, right, we can eat a piece of fruit instead of chips and add sliced veggies to your sandwich. For dinner, you can toss chopped fruit with salad greens and cook green peas to mac and cheese. So these are just some of the things that we can do to kind of enhance our current meals. Next slide.
I want to ask mothers. So how many of you are mothers? And how many of you have kids that won't eat veggies? So what are your tips of how you sneak veggies in? I like what what gave me the idea is Alan talked about mac and cheese and just throwing some green peas in there. So there's, yeah, hide your veggies in spaghetti sauce. See, there you go.
I make what a thing is called Hulk juice, and it's just all veggies with fruits and vegetables, and it's green. So my son knows that it makes you strong because all the Hulk is big. So I just started calling it Hulk juice, and they love their Hulk juice in the morning with all the the power greens and a couple of blueberries and strawberries to kind of give it a different taste. But that's kind of what I do.
I do want to acknowledge Lillian's observation. I'm with you, Lillian. A fruit smoothie with, 3 bananas and, grapes and all this stuff, it's actually a sugar bolus. So there is a problem with overdoing pure sugary fruits. I know that fructose is broken down a little bit slower than your straight glucose sugary drinks. And so that's the rationale where we can get away with some fruit. But to Lillian's point, I mean, if you're blending up 3 bananas in the morning, you've just given yourself a sugar rush.
Right.
It's going to hit your body slower than if you down 2 cans of Pepsi. But you do got to be careful with those fruit smoothies. And I like Alan's idea and also Maria's about putting the veggies in with the smoothies. That way you've got your spinach base, the half a banana or 3/4 banana plus the apricots cover over that spinachy taste. And you can introduce and hide a lot of these really good vegetables in with that smoothie. So thank you for that comment, Lillian. You're spot on.
Thank you. Thank you. Next slide, please. So a reminder, this is just a reminder how important it is to eat the rainbow, right? Eating a variety of color provides a wider range of nutrients. And just kind of look at this list and ask yourself, well, what's the easiest color for you to include? If you're only really getting your reds and pinks, like what can you do personally to add more orange, more green, more white, and purple to your daily diet?
And I guess the kid in me loves this picture because in this picture, you can market this to your 5-year-old, your 17-year-old. Like, let's do more colors. Like, let's go to the grocery store and let's find colors that we can eat this week. And you can, instead of this, I don't know, finger pointing, we got to eat more, you got to eat all your veggies before you have dessert. You just reframe it. Like, how many colors can you find on your plate? And I love this slide. It just sets up just a whole different perspective on how can I eat the rainbow way,
Yes. And next slide. So we're wrapping it up to the last 2 questions. So question number 1 for the poll. LDL cholesterol is good for you. It helps lower your risk of heart disease and stroke. True or false? All right. Looks like most of you give it a little bit more. All right. So it looks like 71% said false and 29% of you said true. And the correct answer is LDL is bad and increases your high risk of disease and stroke. Okay.
I tried to mention that earlier. Remember, the L meaning low density doesn't mean it's good. It means it's not dense. It floats around and sticks, right? Because it's light. Because it's not dense, it sticks itself to your arteries and veins, which makes it not a good thing. So don't be confused by the low. Low to most of us means, oh, it's good. But in this case, it ain't good. So think of little floaties that stick. Think sticky floaties in your bloodstream. That's why the LDL is bad, okay? HDL, high density, you got thick rocks, and so it doesn't stick to your arteries and veins as much, which makes it a better option for cholesterol. So let's flip the the script on this, and everybody should know now going forward, LDL is not the good one.
L, yeah, doctors wants to L means lousy, and example LDH, H for healthy. That's a
So I
good way
like that.
to remind ourselves. And then now the next question, in the next month, I will commit to having at least 64 ounces of water. That's about 8 cups, in at least 5 days a week. So A, yes, no, B, and C, maybe. All right, see, 90% of you are coming, 93. Good, good. All right, so there's a maybe in there, so no no's. So it looks like about 94% will commit to drinking more water. And the person that said maybe, I hope that you will try to do everything in your part to commit to drinking more water. Next and final slide. So call to action, right? Healthy eating for a healthy heart. So kind of things to keep in mind is fresh, frozen, canned, and dried all count towards your daily servings, right? Make half your plate fruit and the other vegetables. Choose whole fruit and veggies when possible. Try to eat a variety of vegetables. Look for fruit that's packed in its own juice and 100% fruit juice, no sugar added. So that's important. And look for low sodium and no salt added canned veggies and 100% vegetable juice with no salt added.
Or make your own juice.
Or make your own juice. Thank you, thank you. And next slide. So thank you all for joining us today. And I want to take a moment and thank St. Joseph Providence health expert, Karen. Thank you again so much for being here and telling your and sharing your insights and knowledge. The H team working behind the scenes. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Lisa, who helped me coordinate this program, as well as Maria. And a special thanks to Providence for locally supporting this important hypertension initiative in LA. We hope to see you at our social support circles, which is the 18th, July 18th at 5:30 p.m. called Healthy Eating for a Healthy Heart. And then we'll send you a follow-up email with that link to register for that as well. We do appreciate your feedback about today's health topic. And so please take a moment to complete your short survey that will appear when you choose to close out of Zoom. Any last words, Karen?
Yes, I want to thank you all, Matthew, Maria, and those that added some tips and ideas in the chat. You got some great ideas. It sounds like you've already got this down. I don't know why you joined the class. I would love to hear any more ideas or commitments that maybe you've made after hearing and seeing all those colors on the screens today. So Alan, those slides were awesome. So let's put our commitments down on our own papers, or if you want to share it with everybody, you can. But like, what am I going to do different for breakfast? What am I going to do different as I go to the grocery store based on what I heard today and based on some of these ideas that came from Matthew and others who added some links. So just consider that. And thank you all so much again for your contributions, and happy, healthy heart and eating to everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.